Hi, I'm Douglass Stewart and welcome to Yoga U Online. In this segment, we will begin to explore the importance of flexibility. All of us have had the experience of reaching down to tie our shoes and feeling some little bit of obstruction there in the low back and in the hamstrings as we reach down to tie the shoe, or trying to put something up in the cabinet, or maybe on an airplane putting your bag up in the overhead and not being able to get that full stretch through your physical body because of some tightness in particular regions of your form. Or even just looking over your shoulder or rotating into a fuller placement of your body in order to see in other directions other than forward. And then just noticing how inflexible our thinking becomes too when the physical body is contained by tension and stress. Flexibility is a great way or a great thing to introduce into your physical body and into the practice of yoga, because it allows for a fluidity of movement and an ease and a grace as your body moves from one point to the other. It also facilitates the movement of energy and breath. In the previous segment, we were exploring the strengthening poses and how those poses generate a great deal of energy and power as we stabilize the core to the limbs and the limbs to the core and the core body, generating a lot of energy through the physical body. Stretching or flexibility allows for that energy to flow evenly through the physical body with less hindrance, graceful ease, liquid-like movement. So our first exploration here, of course, you see me sitting on the ground. And for this practice, you'll need a bolster, and I think that's it. So towards the end. So you're sitting on the ground, and will you just cross, and I will use my right leg, but it's your left leg. Use your left leg or your left foot to cross over your right leg. And come up tall onto your sitting bones. And if it's possible, just feel or maneuver, navigate that left foot to lay flush on the ground. If possible, it will tend to just sort of rest on the outer edge. But if you can organize that foot to just land flat against the ground, and of course the right foot is in flexion with your toes drawn back, you're sitting tall onto your sitting bones, and just let your legs or your right leg relax down into the ground. Feel the sides of your body lengthening up so that your ears and your shoulders and your pelvis come into the same plane, almost like in the sitting staff, Dandasana, that we practiced in the previous segment. Once you've got all of that coordinated and you're just feeling and listening to, now these are just alignment cues that you might be able to play them and with more specificity over time. You might fall in and out of those cues. It's okay, just as long as you're mindful and causing no strain or aggravation or sharp pain through your physical body. At any time that you need to come out of a posture that I'm explaining for a long length of time, then come out of the pose and maybe sit upright or come onto your back. But for now, your left foot is crossed right over the right leg, and your right elbow comes across your left knee. Sitting tall, the sides of the body lengthening up, your spine flowing up seemingly out of the ground in its natural curves. Sitting bones reaching down, begin to rotate just easefully to your left. Now you'll come to a place where your body needs to stop. That is right now the stop point of your rotation. Careful about the tendency to overwork that rotation. You might need to nurture here for a little while, attending to this place of stop sort of a yellow light, if you will, caution, caution here, to attend to that region with your breath. Just send your breathing right into that place that's causing you to stop at that moment or in that particular part of the rotation. Your left hand comes down onto the ground so that your left shoulder flows down away from your jaw. In the twist, the low vertebrae are pretty stable. They're really thick. And so they're holding stable by the sitting bones reaching into the ground. And so we are wanting to avoid any over rotation in the lower lumbar bones, the lower spine bones. There might be a greater rotation and a greater stretch of the muscles that are along the sides of the spine, in the middle spine, the thoracic spine. And as your breathing might have cultivated a little bit more space through the spine, you might have been able to move beyond that initial stop point and travel around a little farther, shoulders relaxing from your jaw. The cervical spine, those bones are a little bit more fine, a little smaller, and you might have a greater range in your neck. You might. Careful of overstraining or overstretching your neck. Just an easy, graceful look over time beyond that left shoulder. And feel your breath move. We are providing a little stretch now, a little stretch for the muscles along the spine, rectus spinae. What's your breath like? Let go of the rotation, sending your left foot forward. Step your right foot to the outside of your left leg. Sitting bones reaching into your mat. Wrap your left elbow around your right knee. Sides of the body lengthening up. Let your shoulders relax from your jaw. With those coordinates, begin to explore rotation to your right. Now, you might come to a stop point. It's okay. It's your practice, and you're building a sensitivity and attention to what is necessary and appropriate for your form in this moment. What are your conditions like in this moment? And you're honoring them. And over time, with your complete breaths and with your sensitivity and with your attention, you may be able to rotate deeper to your right and look eventually over your right shoulder. Lord of the Fishes, Matsyendrasana. Let go of the rotation. Free your right heel forward. Now just close your eyes, everybody, sitting upright, tall. Your legs can be easy though, but close your eyes. I'd just like to take this moment to just feel through your torso. Circulation moving through and along your spinal column, through your neck. Swing round now onto hands and knees. And step your right foot forward. Here, you might need your blocks. You might need your blocks to frame your front foot. You may be able to come into this lunge without your blocks. Your hands are right underneath your shoulders. but you might need your block. And your blocks have 3 heights, and you choose or position the ones that's most appropriate for the lengthening of your arms. Your hands and shoulders are in the same line. Your hands are right underneath the shoulders. Your heel, both heels actually eventually, are in the center webs of your feet. The shin bone, the right shin bone more perpendicular to the ground. Begin to stretch that left heel back or the left foot back into the space behind you. Positioning the heels in the center webs, feeling the sides of the body gracefully hugging in for core support and body awareness, allowing your head to release forward. What's your breath like? Low lunge. You may then take your mat and fold the left edge of your mat in so that your knee comes down onto that softness, your left knee. And then as you come upright, your hands can come onto your front thigh bone or knee. We're in a slight back bend here, stretching the front body. The back toes are curled under, so as release or stretch. Your sternum just aimed more towards the horizon line or slightly higher. Your breath moves. Equestrian pose. Your hands touch down onto your blocks. You can unfurl your mat. Both knees touch down. Switch over to, or actually step your right foot forward. I'm going to change so that I'm facing you on the other side. I'm sorry, you'll step your left foot forward. You'll step your left foot forward with your blocks underneath your hands, if you need them. And you'll stretch your right leg back into the space behind. Stretch, flexibility now invited into the torso and quadriceps. Fold the right edge of your mat in so that your right knee comes down onto that softness. You can also use your blanket, a thinly folded blanket underneath that left knee. I'll show you. You can fold your blanket so that it's just into a thinly folded blanket. Place that left knee onto the thinly folded blanket so that you've got some cushion there. You may not need those props underneath your knee. The outer edge, the right edge of your mat folded in, or the blanket underneath your knee. Blocks underneath your hands. You may need your hands to remain on the blocks here, or you might be able to bring your hands up onto your front knee or thigh bone. A deeper stretch of the psoas muscle. The back toes are curled under. Let your shoulders relax from your jaw. Your sternum just more towards the horizon, or maybe slightly up to the upper corner of your room. Find your breath. Touch down. Come onto hands and knees. And now swing your legs forward. Back to sitting. Take your bolster and hug that bolster into your belly. Just fit it deep into your belly and lift up tall so that maybe the ribs have cleared the bolster. And as you feel you're hugging the bolster into your belly, use the support of the bolster as you lift your torso up and over to take this forward fold. It's a stretch of the hamstrings and the low back. You might need a little bit of bend in your knees. If that's the case, you can roll your blanket. Just roll your blanket so that your blanket is right under the bend of your knees. Your bolster comes into your belly, and you can lift up and fold forward into this forward fold, Pashmitanasana. Your spine can round, and you might be able to reach to the outer edges of your feet with your hands. Your chin tucks toward your collarbone. Feel your breath. Forward folds are soothing to the nervous system. They allow for circulation to flow through the back side of the body more prominently. Back bends are more invigorating, allowing for circulation to flow through the front side of the body. Feel your breath. Come upright, everybody. For now, just move your props to the side. Come onto your back. Bring your inner legs to touch. Release your arms along the sides of your body. Organize your shoulder blades to lay flush against your back. And stretch through the outer hip joints. Gather your bolster and place your bolster right underneath your knees or thigh bones. Organize your shoulder blades to lay onto the back or onto the ground without protruding into your back or into the ground. Open your arms from your body. Your palms are facing up. Adjust your head and neck so that they're comfortable. Let your body rest down on the ground now. Let go. Circulation moving through the body. Weaving all the seemingly separate parts into union, into a harmonious relationship. You can remain in Shavasana and corpse pose if you'd like, or you may want to come up so that we can end our practice together in a seated position, comfortably seated upright. I'm in easy seat. You may choose another seated, comfortable seated pose. But bring your hands into this devotional gesture, Anjali Mudra, your palms meeting right in the center line of your body. Lift your sternum or your breastbone so that your thumbs land right on it, and tilt your head toward your heart. We all know what it feels like when there is no circulation in the room, when there's no air, circulation of air in the room, stifled, stagnant. Flexibility allows for circulation to flow through so that we are fluid-like and mobile, gracefully mobile. Thank you so much for your attention and for joining us here at Yoga U Online. Namaste.